I'm gonna become an adventurer because I've never done that. Alright friends, we're gonna try a little bit of an experiment here today. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to be in a one-shot this evening with a good friend of mine running the game, and I am super stoked to play this old character. And one of the things that I like to do when I'm playing characters is that I've started that I really like doing the voices for the characters and speaking in character as much as possible. So this is a challenge for me sometimes because I gotta come up with a new concept for a new character, right? And it's funny because I've been learning as I practice this. Like, I'm no professional, obviously. I just like doing it. And I've been learning as I do this that character voices, it's easy to fall into cliches. And I really, really want to try to avoid that. So what I'm trying to do is, like, for now, I want to avoid accents unless I have a very specific reason and a very clear idea about the accent, and then I can practice that. For now, so I have to do an old man. My concept for this character is he's old as dirt. He's been around for years and years. He's been traveling the world, and now he's in his old age. He's like, I've got nothing else to do. I'm going to become an adventurer because I've never done that. And so for the last few months or years, let's say, he's level 5, right? So let's say for the last several months, he's become an adventurer, which is it's opened a whole new world of experiences to him. And so now, I did a voice on the vlog yesterday. It was kind of like, I was kind of very talking like this, like straining my voice as if he's an old man, right? But then I started looking at some images on Pinterest and whatever to get get the creative juices going. And I almost feel like perhaps he's more stately. He's a well-versed man. He's spent his whole life traveling the world and reading volumes and tomes and talking to amazing and interesting people, and certainly he has something to teach the youngsters, but maybe he's going to talk more like this. So that's another option I have. I'm trying to, so I want to flesh this out. So who is this guy? So he's an older man, but that could go any different way. I mean, is it like, is he old and decrepit? He doesn't like to talk. He doesn't know what he's shaky and all. No, he's not shaky. This dude is not shaky. In fact, quite the opposite. This guy is like a freaking stud. I rolled really amazing stats, and so it's kind of a funny contradiction. He's one of those dudes like who's so old that like gray and white, and like he's been around the block, and at the same time it's like, how the heck is this guy so strong? Like, I had a great grandmother who in her like late 70s, 80s, whatever it was, she had like iron bands for arms because she would carry the groceries from the grocery store to her house like every day or every week or whatever it was. Like, whenever she had to go get groceries, she was carrying them. And not only that, she's rolling like pasta and raviolis and rolling dough and kneading dough and making her own pasta for her whole life. And so she had these like, she was like 5 foot tall, actually probably like 4'10", and she was stronger than most men that I know. It was unbelievable. So this guy's got to be like that. So he should talk like, maybe he talks like this. He's an old man who's been around the block. He's been to the other side of the continent. He's been around the world. He's traveled on airships, and maybe he talks like this. He's a strong man, but lots of experience. Oh, I'm kind of liking this. I have much to teach you, youngsters. I can teach you many things, but I'm also wise enough to know that I still have much to learn. I like that. That feels pretty good. So that's kind of like high register, and I have much to learn and much to teach. Well, this is how I have to develop. So this is how I develop the voice. Characters are pretty easy for me. I had an idea. I'm like, I think I want to play an old character. then I'm like, you know what? I haven't played a cleric for a while. What kind of cleric? So I go through the domains and I'm like thinking, So I go through the domains and I'm thinking, well, what makes sense for an old cleric? What would a good domain be for some cleric who's got lots of wisdom and experience? Well, I'm not going to go with like war domain. I could. I've done that in the past, so I don't want to do that again right now. And I'm like, oh, well, what about... I looked at all of them, really, to be completely honest, and I just felt like knowledge domain makes sense. Like, what? So then I looked at, okay, well, he's a sage, right? That's his background. He's a sage. He's this character who has searched through the world. And maybe in his church, this is what he had to do. Like, he was the acolyte or the priest or whatever that traveled the world seeking out information and knowledge and doing research on relics and traveling from library to library or going to meet the other great sages of the world and learning from them, and that's what.
So I think this is how he'll talk. This feels right. It's easy to do, and it sounds to me like he's an old man, but he's still virile and strong, but wise and learned. This is going to be Cedric. Yes, they call me Old Man Cedric. Those youngsters and their jokes. They like to call me Old Man Cedric. But don't let the gray hair fool you. I'll still whip your ass, you know?
Well, anyway, I think that's going to be it. So, yeah, this was a little different for my DnDaily today. I don't know. I'm trying new things. I'm experimenting. I'm trying to see what happens. Let me know if you like it or if you hate it. I love to have the feedback. It really helps me in growing and developing this vlog. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. And hey, tomorrow, lots of us, it's a Memorial Day weekend, so tomorrow you might have the day off. I hope you're playing some great D&D tomorrow. I'll tell you about how the game goes tonight and preview a little bit about tomorrow night's game on Variant Rolls. Until then, keep rolling 20s, and remember, it's your game. Play your way.
I have much to teach.
And that's going on the reel at the end. I forgot that.
I have much to learn.
Well, what would So I go through the world, and maybe in his church.